happening with their career and all of that.
Oh, I haven't heard anything from her.
Yeah, but Ochiame Kwame, I'd say, is one of those musicians who has stayed very relevant.
Of course.
For a really long time.
He's still relevant.
I'm saying he has stayed
very
relevant.
I thought you said he stayed.
Yeah,
more recently with his book.
For a really,
he stayed relevant for a really long time.
Yeah,
I think it's all about, rebranding, reinventing. Yeah. I think that's one of the things that we struggle with a lot as we grow older.
Anyway, and he's joining us on the show later today to talk about that relationship issue. Is love enough? Is love enough?
I don't know, because our love is not really working. Neither is the love between you and Hearts of Hope, so I don't really know.
Let's get into the newspapers.
Yes, please. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so on the front page of the Daily Graphic, there's this photo. That's it says so much. It says the headline is "Increased Investment in Mental Care." That's a CSO saying that, but it's a photo for me. So the photo is going to come up on your screens in a bit, but it features a woman, presumably, who has mental issues, who has a child, and she's tied the baby to her leg so that the baby, as she's sleeping, the baby won't go away. So that's it. So you see that the woman is lying down, I suppose she's sleeping, and then the baby is wandering off, but there's a cloth tied to the baby's waist, in which the mother is holding on to, or maybe tied to, so the baby can't go away. That's quite a photo. But yes, you see these things across the country. I mean, especially in the city, where you see a lot of mental patients or people who are mentally unstable who are out there on the streets. And these days, I mean, talking about mental health, there's something we should draw attention to. Apparently, there are people parading as, they being mental, and yet they are sane and they're criminals and they're attacking people. You've heard that? Yeah,
I have. I'm very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate.
So yeah, but so this CSO is saying that the CSO is called Ghana Sumubi Jumedie. That's they're saying that government should increase investment in mental health. Okay, so that's the main story on the front page of the Daily Graphic. Okay, so moving on page 6, Sudan Army sacks 6, condemnation grows. It's about the coup in Sudan. South Africa gears up for hotly contested local elections. Then NDC balls on page 7. NDC balls as Dufour drops hat in the ring. And the article by Enimila Sean, he's suggesting that there are 3 announcements so far about people interested in the NDC flag bearership race. It says John Mahama says last weekend in the Volta region, he indicated that, I don't quite recall if John Mahama has come out to say that, yes, he's in the race. But yes, he may have said something suggesting that he is in the race. Kojo Bonsu, he also announced through the media, and then Dr. Kwabena Dufour at one-on-one meetings with delegates, plus one major media salvo. And this article by Enimila Sean is suggesting that the NDC is boiling because Dufour is in the ring. But he goes on to also say that this is the first contest that so I'll read that. With the NDC, however, he says nothing extraordinary after all if there are 3 people contesting. After all, turbulence happens to all. With the NDC, however, 2 extraordinary things are about to happen. 1, its twice defeated presidential candidate JDM may, for the first time since the death of Atta Mills, be going into a flag bearer race in which he may not be favorite. So I beg to differ. I don't think that John Mahama is not a favorite in the NDC. I think for anybody, of all the people who have declared their interest so far, John Mahama still remains the NDC's best. Well, he's the favorite. I think he's going to win the flag bearership race if he contests hands down. I don't know who can challenge him to it. You may make an effort, but I doubt. Anyway, that's my personal position. Moving on, Ningo Pram human trafficking hotspot. That's the police saying that. So the police is saying that Ningo Pram in the Greater Accra region has been identified by the anti-human trafficking unit of the Ghana Police Service as a hotspot for the trafficking of minors for fishing expeditions. And then GSS to conduct public services integrity survey. Then on page 18, probe into million ballot papers. We accept EC's challenge. That's the NDC. So the NDC says that the EC is challenging them to get the police to investigate the case of the 1 million ballots that they said were thumbprinted or suggested was thumbprinted for President Akufo-Addo. It says that yes, they've accepted the challenge and they're asking the police to take up the matter, and they're saying that apart from accepting the challenge by the EC, it will go a step ahead to provide evidence of the printing of additional 1 million ballot papers to the police. So they held a news conference yesterday and all these came up. NCC to fuse Ghanaian values into programs. That's the chairperson, Ms. Josephine Nkrumah. Says what is happening among the youth is frightening. They have lost their sense of direction in everything. Then on page 20, Bawumia to deliver lecture on digital economy. The Vice President, Mamadou Bawumia, will deliver a lecture on the digital economy in the evening of November 2, 2021. The public lecture, which will be hosted by the Ashesi University, will include an interactive session with students of the university on how digitalization is transforming the economy and positioning Ghana for the emerging global digital revolution. Okay. Vice President Bawumia has delivered a number of lectures on the economy. This time it's digital economy. I'd have loved for him to deliver a lecture on the economy, one of those lectures he delivered before he became president.
On
and
what?
became vice president, on the economy. Okay. You know, the Bawumia series. This one is on digital economy.
I see.
Use ADR, alternative dispute resolution, to settle disputes. That's the Deputy AG telling litigants. And then Christians must be bold against LGBTQI+. Bishop Dr. Upoti. The Holy Apostolic Reformed Church has commemorated the 10th anniversary of the passing of the founder, Apostle Jacob Kone Akpoti, and that's where this was said. Now, let me go to the center spread. Attainment of SDGs. Government injects 659.5 million cedis into water sanitation sectors. Give us power to bite. That is the National Media Commission appealing to Parliament. And Kofi Adjei confirmed as Director General of Prison Service. And let's move on to the other stories that we have in the Daily Graphic. Okay. Police arrest supplier of fake dollar notes. The leaders of a fake currency fraudster gang has been nabbed by the police. And rerun Bibiani Angaso, the Kwai MCA election. That's 33 assembly members are asking for that. And national security compensates victims. Ayawaso West Wogomba election violence. So in the Medley, the Ningo Pram MP, Mr. Sam George, was assaulted, and media reports indicated that 18 people were wounded via gunshots. So, and then missing Lands Commission employee, husband to undergo psycho test. The police put out a statement yesterday to that effect. Says the police service has secured a court order to refer the husband of a staff of the Ashanti Regional Lands Commission who went missing in August this year for psychiatric examination. There's been a number of, there's been some Facebook posts and WhatsApp forwards suggesting that the husband is responsible, but the police have issued a statement and they're saying that there's nothing, that they have no evidence pointing or suggesting that the husband is responsible for the wife's disappearance. Now, Ghana Blind Union marks 50 years of higher education, and contractor can't hold breast screening for public. It's still October, so Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So please, it's not too late to go get your breast screened, because there are a number of companies that are doing that, organizations that are doing that for free. Now on page 50, let's build skilled human resources for sustainable development. That's Vice President Dr. Baumia saying that in business, government has to divest interest in SOEs. Tor others proposed. Says we have been running the institution since 1992 using political appointees who have no real knowledge of handling such projects, and the results are there for us to see. And I perfectly agree with the call for Tor to be privatized, and because we haven't handled Tor very well, and Tor is bleeding and draining, and it's costing the state a lot of money. We're still keeping it going, and they keep reporting losses each year. Select committee to invite contractors for shoddy work. Avian flu detected at Bone, Katamanso. Afrochella returns. Okay, can look forward to that. Now in sports, no COVID-19 jab, no entry. GFA declares a season opening. So if you're not getting, you're not vaccinated for COVID-19, you're not going to get access to the stadium to watch any match. And on the back page, government disperses 2.3 million cedis to Makola fire victims and fruit vegetable fair openings in Accra. That's it for the daily graphic.
Okay, thank you for the 15 minutes of that. Okay, let's do the Ghanaian Times.
Is it 15 minutes?
Yes, it was 15 minutes. Ghanaian Times this morning. Traffic nightmare on Ofanko in Sawam Road. Motorist commuters decry daily gridlock. And there's a picture of some crazy looking traffic on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Asante Hene inaugurates new maternity block for KNUST Hospital. Government presents 2 million Ghana cedis to Makola market fire victims and patients stranded in hospitals as HSWU lays down tools. Okay, so Beirut violence fuels fears of return to civil war. That story on page 5. Concerned citizens rejects passage of anti-LGBTQ plus bill. That's on page 7. A happy birthday to Turkey, who turned 98. That's on page 9. Let's find some more interesting stories. So census spread. The main story is the traffic nightmare on Ofanko and Sawam Road. A traffic nightmare in most places is a real nightmare, largely caused by people creating lanes that don't exist because they are in a hurry, as opposed to everybody else who is not in a hurry, and then now we all get stuck in traffic. Okay, page 18, Ghana records 33 more COVID-19 cases. So yeah, you still need to be careful out there. Now the NIA is going to begin operations in all 16 regions on November 3rd. Remember that they temporarily shut down for a few days so that they could relocate, well not relocate, but redistribute so that there's an NIA office in every district. Yep. So they're starting operations in all 16 regions, November 3rd, which I think is Wednesday. So you can go out there and still get your Ghana card. Hopefully somewhere close to you. Okay, lots of breast cancer screening going on. Patients stranded in hospitals as HSWU lays down tools. And we did that in the 6 a.m. news, how some hospitals, have smelly bathrooms, people are not collecting rubbish and all of that because the workers are on strike. 19.5% of domestic debt is held by non-resident investors. That's according to the Bank of Ghana. Okay, the story says, according to data in the Central Bank's quarterly bulletin for the second quarter of 2021, 19.5% hold of domestic debt by non-resident investors marks a decrease of 0.8% when compared to the 20.3% holdings of domestic debt in quarter 2. So if that kind of thing interests you, it's on page 26. Then there's lots of sports. Beating Bayern 5-0 was like playing in a trance. I'm sure that's how the Wydad people also felt when they beat Hearts of Oak 6-1. Just saying. Accra Lions face.
You just need to, make it clear that Bayern Munich actually lost by 5 goals to 0.
Yeah, but like I said yesterday, we don't know Bayern Munich. We've never been there.
But you're talking about Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I'm reading the record. I haven't been to Germany. How many of you have been? Like, who is Bayern Munich? We know Hearts of Oak.
There are a lot of people who follow Bayern Munich
in
here
our
in this
backyard,
country.
just here, please, boss. Accra Lions face Elmina Sharks in season opener, and GHA to stop compensation for encroachment on roads. I'm going straight into the Daily Guide after using 4 minutes to do the Ghanaian Times. How many minutes? Okay, never mind.
How many minutes what?
How many minutes did it take Wydad to score Hearts of Oak?
90 minutes.
I mean, I didn't say yesterday was the last day. I said today. And even the Bible says that only a fool doesn't change their minds. So I might actually drag this out into next week. On the front page of the Daily Guide, NDC incest guru's daughter reveals secrets. NDC propaganda is wild, says Baumia. Well, so is the NPP. Apollonia chairman raises land fraud alert. So you know this story about this NDC incest, this NDC guru's daughter. So it was in court, and the girl came to give her report, and she said, her father, and he is her father, proposed to her and said, I want to love you now because I don't love your mother anymore, basically. And she was like, no, of course not. I mean, this is horrible. And then he forced himself on her, so raped her, essentially. And then he said, I'll take you abroad, I'll do this for you if you don't tell anyone. And then she got pregnant, and then he took her to have an abortion. And then she told her school counselor. And then when he found out that she had told the school counselor, he got very angry and beat her and all of that. It's just really horrible. And whichever way you look at it, it just makes absolutely no sense. Okay, anyway, that's on page 6. On page 5 of the Daily Guide, international stories, Sudan coup, World Bank suspends aid after military takeover. Cambridge University College returning looted bronze cockerel to Nigeria. I could make a really horrible joke, but I won't. Castration for high suspect on trial for murder. Okay, should we do some entertainment? Burna Boy says, I might not get married. Well, he says he tells his mother that, and then she gets really upset, and now he can't decide whether he actually means it or whether he just does it to get upset. But remember what the Bible says. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. So, over to you, boss. Okay. Well, I don't know about that. Funny Face returns to social media against magistrate's advice. Mobile awards to return with first live show since 2017. And then there's a little bit more entertainment. Not sure why the Daily Guide breaks up the entertainment into 2 pages, like all the way there. Anyway, Halloween Ayehu concert is today. Stone Boy receives Queen's baton relay. And Randy Ish has been crowned Miss Agriculture. Ayo. GFA announces no vaccination, no entry policy. I think the first match is today. They've also increased the number of people who can come into the stadium. So it was 20% capacity, but they've increased it to 25%. So if you've been vaccinated, you miss going to the stadium. First match today. I think there's a match tomorrow as well. Xavi agrees to Barca terms. So that's Xavi Hernandez. So Barca gets him, and Accra Open returns in style. That's it for the Daily Guide. Okay,
let me quickly do the Daily Dispatch. There's some interesting stories here. Over 50% of prisoners in Ghana aged between 18 and 25 years. That's serious. 50%, over 50% of prisoners in Ghana aged between 18 and 25 years. That's essentially the youth have been jailed because they've been engaged in crimes or for one reason.
That's a very it's a very serious issue, but it's also very indicative of the systems that are being set up to support the youth to find meaningful employment.
Because if they're not finding meaningful employment,
then exactly. And we have to really look at it. Otherwise, we're going to get to a certain point where we're not going to have. I don't say we're not going to have people, but you know what I mean, right?
Anyway, and then our memo is not to legalize same-sex marriage. Let me go to that story. So the concerned Ghanaians against anti-LGBTQ plus bill, they are saying that their memo is not against, against, they're not trying to get same-sex marriages legalized in the country. All right, and then MP exposes NDC MP of allegations of illegal receipt of revenues, and 2024 elections will be fought at the local level. That's Dr. Bawumia, Vice President Dr. Bawumia saying that. Now, the story on the memo is not to legalize same-sex marriage. Kotu Ampao says, Kotu Ampao, a member of the Concerned Citizens Against the Anti-LGBTQI+ bill, says, the memorandum submitted to Parliament against the passage of anti-LGBTQI bill into law is not to legalize same-sex marriage. The legal practitioner at a news conference said, it is mischievous for everyone to say that our group is for legalization of same-sex marriage, and we expect the media to challenge persons who deliberately or out of ignorance propagate such disinformation. Right, that's it for the Daily Dispatch. Can we go to my Joy Online? A very little time left. All right, so my Joy Online, being short, having dreadlocks, tattoo do not affect institutional performance. That's Kwesi Eni telling the security agency. That was a conversation we were having yesterday.
Yeah.
How it's been justified that, yes, the rules, so you just have to comply. UG students sues VC, Vice Chancellor, Dean of Students, others over disqualification from JCR elections. Collaborate with universities to prepare students for the job market, Professor Quarte tells business owners. Photos of the EcoBank JoyNews Habitat Fair. So the EcoBank JoyNews Habitat Fair has opened. It opened yesterday, and it's going to run until Monday. So make time to visit. But you can also check out the photos here on my Joy Online. And Isaac Ejie is new Director General of Ghana Prison Service. Volta Region Caucus in Parliament demands apology from Akufo-Addo for his infamous retort to Aflao chief, and that story was on the AM News. Delaying to report a crime does not change the facts. A free Ankara on alleged printing of 1 million extra ballot papers.
Okay, well, that's it for my Joy Online. That's it for the news review. But before we go, we're having a conversation a little later on about whether love is enough. So is love enough to make your marriage work, or is it enough to decide based on just love to marry someone or be with someone? What else do you need? Is love enough? We've asked that question on Facebook. If you head over to our Facebook page, tell us what you think. We'd love to hear from you. Of course, we'll open the phone lines as well, because it's an interactive conversation, and Ochiame Kwame will be joining us as well for that conversation. And Israel will be telling us if love is enough, and if he says yes, then why isn't love enough to make our relationship work? Because it's not working, especially not when Hearts of Oak is losing by 6 kills. I mean, it's just not working. Anyway, what is